Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the Graphic Packaging Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to Katie. Katie will tell you about her company, job openings, and how to apply for those openings. Katie?
Hi everyone, I'm Katie. Joanna's also with me as well. So we're just gonna go through a brief description of our company, and then we'll go through some openings and we'll go from there. So we are a packaging manufacturing company. So pretty much 60% of the paperboard that you find in your local grocery, we probably produce that. Some of the main products that we produce at our Carroll Stream facility are Barilla and Kleenex. And so we also have over 17,000 employees located in 75 facilities across the US and 14 other countries. And then in terms of the positions that we have open, so we have some hourly positions open. So for our entry-level position, we have it's called feeder packer. So the base pay for that is $17.45 an hour, no experience required. And then we also have a assistant machine operator position open as well. We do require some operator experience with that position. We have a quality clerk position open. So that one does require a bachelor's degree. And I believe, what is the base pay?
Quality is 2036.
Quality is 2036 for that position. And then we also have a maintenance mechanic position open. That one also requires some experience, some electrical experience, but the hourly rate for that is $33 an hour. We do have shift differentials as well for all these positions. So depending on what shift you're on, you would be earning more. Second shift is an extra 23 cents. Third shift is an extra 32 cents. And if you're on our nighttime 12-hour shift, that one would be an extra $1. And we are open 24 hours. So we do have 3 different shifts with that. So for the first shift, that goes from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. Second shift is 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. And our third shift is 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. And then in terms of those 12-hour shifts, those are going to be 3 or 4 days per week with rotating weekends. So there's a 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. shift, and then a 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. shift. So I think that's pretty much it for the openings that we have at the moment. In terms of applying, you would just visit our careers page. So it's graphic packaging /careers. And then if you find our Carroll Stream facility, that'll show you all the different openings that we have. And then you'd be able to apply that way.
Thank you for that, Katie. If anyone has any questions for Katie, you can go ahead and enter those into the chat and we will get those addressed for you ASAP. In the meantime, Katie, we will kind of pivot to just some standard generalized questions that I have on my end. Will you be able to stick around to answer a few of those?
Yep, of course.
Fantastic. Can you elaborate on how long your hiring process typically takes from the point of submitting an application to actually being hired?
Yeah, so I would say on average, probably 3 weeks. So it kind of just depends with each candidate, but the background or the procedure for a hiring process, we have, you have to complete a physical, a background check, and a drug screen. So again, it just kind of depends on, each candidate, how long it'll take, but typically between 2 to 3 weeks is what we find. And then after you clear everything, then we'd be able to give the candidate a start date after that.
Fantastic. And based off of your presentation, I'm assuming you do not have any options for working remotely, correct?
No, not at the moment, unfortunately.
Kind of piggybacking off of that question, then I know a lot of, questions that folks have, kind of given the current state of affairs of the world is how is your organization handling COVID safety precautions?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So since we are food packaging, we still have to be coming into the office. Our hourly workers still have to be coming in as well, just because, there's high demand for food product right now. So in terms of measures, we have put in a bunch of stuff for social distancing. So we enforce that. We have markers all around the plant as well. We have caution tape on different hand washing stations so that you're not too close to somebody. We've spread out pretty much everything. Our personal protective equipment used to all be right next to each other. We've spaced that out so there's not large groups of people gathering in one area. We've also opened more break rooms so that people have more options to eat lunch. And again, so you're not so close to everybody. We do enforce masks. Those have to be worn as well. We have a temperature scanner. So, but right before you enter the plant, every single employee has to go through that scanner. It's really simple. You just walk through and then if you don't hear an alarm, then you just keep going. If your temperature is above 101.3, then it would flash red. You would have to step out for a second and then wait 30 seconds, go back through. And then obviously, if you do have a temperature, we would send you home. I think that's pretty much it. We have bleach water, so that's been known to kill the virus. So we have people that are going around and spraying and sanitizing every machine daily.
Thank you for that, Katie. And for the positions that you didn't mention required a bachelor's degree, do you have any sort of educational requirements such as a GED or high school equivalent?
So we don't look for any education for those hourly positions besides the quality clerk, which is the one with the bachelor's. But besides that, no education or experience are required for the other positions that I mentioned.
Okay, thank you for that. And can you kind of elaborate on what some of the standard benefits are that are offered, and then included with that, maybe you could include some fringe benefits as well?
Yeah, so for our benefits, we do have medical, dental, vision, and life. We have a 401k policy that we offer after a year of service. For PTO, that is, we offer a week after a year of service. And 11 paid holidays as well. You may or may not have to work them just depending on business need, but you would receive time and a half if you did have to come in on one of those holidays. But for the most part, the bigger holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that, New Year's, we pretty much always have off, but sometimes just like the smaller ones like President's Day, it kind of is just going to depend on business need if you have to come in or not. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you for that, Katie. Could new hires be expected to be paid for the time that they are being trained?
Yeah, so there is a probationary period for new hires, but you're still receiving pay as soon as you start. You receive pay and it's bi-weekly pay with direct deposit.
Okay, and then does your organization also provide any sort of like certain allowances, such as an allowance for clothing, let's say?
So we do have a safety shoe reimbursement. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a safety shoe reimbursement up to $150 a year.
Fantastic. And then can you kind of describe then what the work attire would be then for the positions that you referenced here today?
Yeah, so we don't really have too strict of a dress code. You could pretty much wear whatever you want, just no like loose clothing, just because that could get caught in a machine. Besides that, anything else is okay. No jewelry though, and then no jewelry, no watches, no necklaces. I think that's pretty much it for the dress code. And then you have to wear your steel-toed shoes and your safety glasses and hairnet and earplugs when you're on the floor.
And are there any restrictions on like tattoos, hair color, piercings, anything of that nature?
No, just for piercings. Yeah, you can't have any. That would be considered jewelry for us, so you wouldn't be able to wear that when you're on the plant.
Okay. And what are the normal hours that somebody could expect to work on any of these shifts that you referenced here today? And then I'm assuming you also provide overtime. At what point is that triggered?
Right. So yeah, pretty much it's a full-time position, all of these. So you're guaranteed that 40 hours a week. Overtime is after, so if you're an 8-hour employee, then overtime is after 8 hours, if that makes sense. So if you work 8 hours, that's your regular pay. If you work 8 hours and 30 minutes, that 30 minutes is counted as time and a half. So, and then if you're a 12-hour employee, then you would receive overtime after 40 hours a week. And then typically it's 5 to 6 days a week if you're an 8-hour employee. 5 days is typical, but just because, there's been high demand, we do like to be upfront. There is overtime here. It's manufacturing. So could look at working up to 6 days a week. And then if you're a 12-hour employee, like I said, probably 3 to 5 times a week with overtime included.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Katie. Another question I have for you is how can a candidate stand out and get an interview assuming they are qualified for the position they are applying for?
So as soon as they apply, we screen resumes every single day. So as soon as they apply, I would reach out to them and I would do a quick phone screen just to see what their availability is and go over their resume. And then after I talk with the hiring manager and if he's interested, I'd set up a final interview. And then, like I said, then after that, if we want to move forward, then we would extend the offer and then get the process started.
And can you elaborate on any of the positions that you covered here today? What might give somebody a competitive edge during that application process? Are there any sort of keywords on a resume that somebody might want to highlight, personality traits, so on and so forth?
Not really. We really look at all facets. We don't even look for manufacturing experience. That's beneficial. It kind of stands out. But even if, you have never worked in manufacturing before, we still, reach out to people. We really just like to see, a consistent work history. Even if not, it's still okay. But that's kind of what stands out to us. If we've seen that you stayed at a company for a while, that goes a long way for us. And then same with the machine operator. That one we do like to look for machine operator experience. So that would stand out as well.
Fantastic. And then another question that I always like to ask all the employers on all of my events is, what are the opportunities for advancement within your organization? And then can you perhaps provide any sort of illustrative examples of any success stories that you've witnessed or experienced perhaps yourself?
So we do have a lot of opportunities for advancement within this company. We are a union facility, so we do bid internally first when we have job openings. So we post it on our HR board, and it goes by seniority and how many points that you have. I could go over that as well next. We do have a point system here for attendance. But yeah, so it's based on seniority. However, there's a lot of people that have been here for a really long time and they don't really, they're comfortable with where they're at and they don't want to move up. So I feel like our past, 6 or 7 new hires that started at that entry level feeder packer position, they signed the job bid and they were able to move up even though they've only been here for sometimes like a week. So there is a lot of opportunity for advancement here.
Fantastic. And any sort of success story that you perhaps have witnessed or experienced yourself?
Yeah. So I know our old safety manager, he actually started as an intern. So I think he started as an intern. So, and then he moved up to quality clerk, which I mentioned that position. So he got that position, and then from there he moved up to our safety and engineer manager. So pretty big. He moved up pretty quickly at our organization. So I think that's a really good success story.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your presentation, Katie, and thank you for sticking around to answer so many of these questions. I do at this point, unless we have any further questions from any of the participants on here today, I believe we can go ahead and kind of begin the wrap-up process. But before we end the session, I kind of want to give you another opportunity to include anything that perhaps you might feel you overlooked during your presentation. Hi, Katie, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. Are we doing questions first, or do you want me to just go over stuff that I missed?
Oh, no worries. No, I had stated, thank you for sticking around for all the questions that I had posed
Oh,
to.
okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So we're kind of
okay.
beginning the wrap up phase right now. Is there anything else that you would like to include that you feel you might have overlooked during your presentation?
I think I pretty much touched on most of it, but I guess I could just also briefly touch on the attendance policy that I mentioned. So we do have a no fault attendance policy. So because we are a union facility, we just have to treat all absences the same. Basically, if you're not here, if you don't show up, that would be a point or two, depending on the scenario. And then let's say you called off today, that point would fall off a year from today. And then we also try to issue warnings to employees. So we issue warnings at 4 points, 6 points, and 8 points. And then if you did reach 10 points, that would be termination. The only things we do excuse are court, jury duty, and funeral leave and military. So those are pretty much the only things that we excuse. Otherwise, it would go towards points.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that, Katie. And before we wrap up the session here today, I just do want to mention that this session has been recorded and it will be uploaded to the Illinois WorkNet YouTube channel after this event ends. It should be available there later today. Once that is uploaded, I also will place that link onto Graphic Packaging's employer booth page where you can access this session at a later date if there's anything that you would like to review during your application process. Again, I just want to thank everyone for participating today. Thank you, Katie, for your presentation, and thank you to the participants. And with that, I would like to wish you all a good afternoon and a great day. Thank you all.
Thank you.